Today I have a special guest with you. This is my grandmother, but we call her Lolly. We have some questions for her. Why don't you tell us your real name and where you're from?
Zenaida Franco Rushing.
And where are you from?
Guantanamo, Cuba.
And how old were you when you moved to the United States?
17.
Is that because you got married?
Yes.
Were you 17 when you got married? Or did you marry him later?
17. I got married in Cuba.
My grandfather was in the Navy.
Yes.
Right? And that's how you met him.
Yes.
Alright, so we have some questions for her, and let's just go ahead and get into it. First question is, what is one of your favorite memories of me when I was little?
There's so many, I couldn't pick just one. I mean, Kalyn was the best baby. She stayed with me a lot because the mother was working all the time. So we traveled back and forth to Key West, back to Orlando. And she loved travel, you know, she loved the airplane, and she always making little faces like a little bird, you know, like throwing kisses. And she was always climbing and doing all kinds of stuff. She was so strong that I couldn't keep up with her. And she was just so beautiful with her red hair, and always very nice. And that's the way she is today. She kept me very busy.
Yeah, I did.
Very busy. Yes.
What is a tradition that you had with me that you want Robert and I to continue with our children?
Well, the only tradition that I can think, our tradition was in New Year's Eve, we always ate 12 grapes at midnight. So I was doing that with Kalyn, and I was hoping that she will always do it. And with the babies, 12 grapes at midnight. And that means like health, luck, I mean, all the best thing that can happen to you in the new year.
One grape for each month of the year.
One grape for the month, each month, one grape. So that's my tradition.
Now this is a funny question from somebody in the family. Who makes the best black beans and rice?
I'm in trouble. I am in a lot of trouble. I should say me because that way I don't get in trouble. But Kalyn make the best black bean. And she's been making black beans, and she was so little. She made black beans, and she would make the rice, and they were happy. And then Timmy, my grandson, he loves cooking, and he called me one day and said, "Hey Lolly, guess what? I made black bean, and they're better than yours, Lolly." And Jeannie, the youngest girl of my daughter Susie, she said the same thing. "Lolly, my black beans are better than you." So I didn't taste them, but I have eaten Kalyn, and she's, I mean, superior. I mean, she's a
I just like to cook.
A great, yeah. She loves to cook, and she tried to cook. You know, remember my recipe. Remember the stuff I taught her how to do food so it tastes better with the seasoning. And
we have a video on that because I came to your house, remember? And we filmed the black bean video. So if you want to see that, Robert will put a little eye in the sky up here for you so you can see that video.
So that's that, you know. So Kalyn, but don't tell anybody else. The rest of the kids, it's really a good cook.
This is a fun question, is what would you name, if you were to name our baby, if it were a boy or a girl, what would you name him?
I will have a name Franco. Franco is my father's last name and my last name, maiden name. So because it brings me a great memory of my father, and he was the best father, and I think Franco is a beautiful name. But it's up to her. It's her baby. You know, I didn't name my son Franco. I named him a different name. I should have named Danny Franco. Any name she named the baby is gonna be, I mean, really a love for me.
What about the girl name that you have that you like?
Well, I was telling the girl that I like, and I had 3 girls, and I never named them that. That was my father's sister. That her name is Ophelia. She would play the piano, sing music. She was so, you know, very this is way back, you know. She moved to Santo Domingo, the Dominican Republic, and she never went back to Cuba. But she has 7 children. and they all are very musical. And she was always, the time I saw her, she came to Miami to see my father and mother when they came, the only time they came to visit here and to meet their grandchildren. They didn't know my children. And my sister children were born in Cuba, and she had come and she hadn't seen them in about 10 years, so they came to see all the grandchildren, and that was great. But my aunt was incredible. She could have been an actress and, you know, a singer, but her mother would not let her do that, so she was always sad about that. You know, that was her vocation, and parents there had the right to say what you can do or not. Back then. Now, it's not that way no more.
But her name was Ophelia?
Ophelia Franco, and singing, and could sing beautiful. Yeah. That's why I think all my grandkids are musical. Not me. I didn't do anything. I have 4 sisters older than me, and they took everything that was theirs to do. They can sew, they can cook, they can do everything, and not me. I was always very like, you know, I didn't want to get my feet dirty. I didn't want to, you know, it was always, I was like a little prissy girl. I would not climb tree. I had a sister who would climb the tree for the Spanish lime. If you don't know what Spanish lime, it's kind of like lychee. She would climb. The tree was very high, and I say, please send me a little bunch. And she say, you want some? So you climb up here and get it. So the tree had the fruit way on top, and I could never go up there to get it. And the coconut, so many coconut trees, and they were kind of bent that you could climb to it. And I was always afraid to do that. So she would go up, get the coconut, and I say, please send me one. Never. We talk about that now. She's a year older than me. I just turned 80 and she turned 81. And I say, why were you so mean to me? You know, you never wanted to send me mamoncillos, is what it's called, the fruit I'm talking about. And so she always had an excuse. No, I didn't do that. It was, you know, I said, well, you don't remember, but I remember. Yeah. So, you know, you're gonna have to pay. So, but I love her dear, and she does me too. We get along so great. So I still have 3 sisters alive.
So
and,
how many brothers and sisters did you have total?
Well, it was 3 boys and 5 girls.
And where were you in that lineup?
I was the 4th girl. There were 4 girls and 3 boys. And my 2 sisters live here in Miami, so I get to see them often. And I haven't been able to go back to Cuba. I still have my brother with all his family, cousins and aunts, and you know, so there's a lot of family there. But I decided I don't want to go there. I don't want to leave any money for the government, and that's why they want people to go visit, to leave all their dollars. And I don't want that, because they don't help the people. And
so how many of them are still living?
Just 1 boy, and there's 3 girls. I can't see with it. Anyway. What
has been like the greatest invention or discovery in your lifetime?
Well, this one that I really think has been the greatest is the flight to the moon. I was dragged to the TV watching the whole thing, and I was waiting for the little alien to come out and get the guys. And but I think that's the greatest point over there. I know that you lived in Cuba and Key West. Did you also live in like Virginia at one point? Yeah, in Norfolk, Virginia. So,
you didn't like it?
I was cold, freezing cold. I've never been to cold weather, and that was. I just had Debbie. Debbie was like a new baby, and I had to go hang diapers in the clothesline. And when I lived in a trailer, and I stepped out, and it was metal, the step, and it was full of ice, and zip,
oh, goodness.
And when I go to hang the diaper, the minute I hang the diaper, I could knock on it. It was so hard. And I say, this is not for me. But I was there for about 6 months. And when I got out, they say that was the coldest winter that they had in Norfolk, Virginia. Or in Virginia.
That's crazy.
You know, it was so pretty looking at the snow falling. And that's the only place I lived where it was really cold.
Alright, what advice do you have for Robert and I about raising our family?
Well, I have one advice because that's the way I grew up. You have to show respect for your children so they can respect you. You cannot let them do anything they want because they get very spoiled. Just because he's crying and throw a tantrum, you know, you have to teach them. That's not good to do, because if you go visit somebody and your kids are really bad and doing things, that's people don't like, you know, that. So you have to teach them that they have to have respect for everything, everyone, and they have to do what mom and daddy said. And then you have to make them fun, you know, so they know that you're doing things for them, making it fun, and so they have memories when they grow up. That was the advice I would give her, because I think a lot of parents today, the kids are the ones running the whole show, and they don't have any respect. We didn't have to be raised like telling them, well, don't do this. We knew automatically when my mother looked at me, you know, that means quiet or shut up or, you know, don't do that. So automatically I knew. And my father never did, but he would look at my mother, and then my mother look at us, and that's it, you know. So we had a lot of respect, but we had a very, very good time. They were really good, happy parents. Musical also. We were into music all the time. We were always dancing in the house with a broom, sweeping and doing things. People there are always friends, all the neighbors. They come in, and like if you cook a pig, they you know, they're in and out. Here, you know, I very seldom see anybody going out or talking to neighbors. Over there, it's just everybody's all the time, you know. You hear the radio, the music from the other one is very, very happy, even though things are there real bad. That's what keeps them, I think, going and have a little bit of happiness because of the way the people are to each other, you know, the neighbors, the friends, the family. Very close. When they were in Key West, that was the best place to grow up, because everybody in the neighborhood, I had 4 kids, the neighbor next door had 4, and they all pretty much had like 3 girls and 1 boy. Or they have 5 kids, but the whole neighborhood, and there was military, a lot of military people living there, and they have a canal in the back of their house, and so they would go and swim there when they were growing. I mean, they have friends that still their friend. My daughter keeps up, her mother, Kalyn's mother, she was my oldest child, and she keeps up with everybody there in Key West. And how long she's been here? Long time. Yeah, and so it's people that you know, you keep in your heart, and we always have fun. We had it was a hurricane. My best friend would make chili con carne, and the neighbors would come because they smell it, you know, while waiting for the hurricane. So those were very happy days. And Kalyn knows that because she remembers some things when she was growing up. She's a great granddaughter, and I love her dearly. Okay, and I can't wait for the baby to come. So I hope I get to see him. And thank you for listening to me.
Thanks for telling us.
I don't get to do this, you know.
It's fun. Now we get to have it forever.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't think about that.
And now all the grandbabies, all the babies that I have, even if you're gone, they can still watch you.
Yeah. Well, that's true. Wow.
Isn't that cool?
Yeah. I like it. That's cool.
So I hope you guys liked this video. I hope you guys liked meeting my grandmother. She's awesome. And don't forget to hit subscribe if you haven't already. We'll see you guys next time. Bye.
Bye-bye. Nice meeting you all.